right, our travels have brought us to South Carolina, where we're staying at 1,000 Trails Carolina Landing Preserve. We bought 1,000 Trails camping membership because they were advertising and seemed like a good deal. And I found it to be a great value for the money, and we really enjoyed staying here. This is a great park. The amenities are wonderful. The people that work here are very friendly. We didn't have any issues. The campground itself is, we haven't stayed at a lot of 1,000 Trails, so, you know, I don't know if this is par for the course, but the campground itself is kind of the same as what we expect, but it's very nice. We have full hookups, 30 amp. I don't know if there's 50 amp in here or not. I think there is, but there's not many. It's mostly 30 amp or just 30 amp water, but no sewer. We happen to get a full hookup site, so we're lucky in that sense. But let me take you on a tour of Carolina Landing, 1,000 Trails, and you can see what you think about it. All right, so one of the fun things about this park is the challenge level, should you need to navigate a large rig. This is a quite steep and hilly campground. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but I mean, this goes way downhill and then everything goes uphill. And most of those rigs over there have wood and boards stacked up on their left and right side to keep them even slightly level. Here's the front office. They have laundry, they have bathrooms. There's a community area here with a free Wi-Fi inside. Celebrating spring, they're doing birdhouse painting, which we did today. I might share a clip of that in this video. After hours check-in right here. They'll post your packet. You can see they already did that for somebody, a couple people here. And because of COVID, the office is closed. They're using just this in the meantime. Over here you have your mini golf and your playground, well stocked with golf clubs, golf balls, and your playground and golf course and volleyball. Back behind the building is a seasonal pool. It's still closed for the season right now. I imagine it's going to open up next month, but right now it's closed. Over here is your laundry, restrooms. Laundry facilities are right here. So this is the A section. It's a pretty steep climb up this hill. All pull-through sites, which is apparently not common in 1,000 Trails. Some full-timers here you can see, and some travelers. By the way, directly across the street from the park is a naturally wooded area. More woods. This camp is surrounded by woods. So they have some park models, permanent trailers here. I think even some of them are for sale. If that's your thing, I wouldn't mind living in a spot like this. This is a real nice area. It's very rural. The people are nice. It's just no grocery stores around. You gotta drive to Georgia, or you gotta drive into a different part of South Carolina. There's not a lot around here, which is good for me. In our family, we like the peace and quiet. So this is the B section. The B section is very similar to the A section. Hilly terrain, the sites are difficult to level. Down there's a section of the park that doesn't look like it's used anymore, but there are still sites over there, and they're labeled for the B section. But you can see nobody camping there. It's just some of the sites are just too far gone to actually camp on. I believe this is the site up here that we initially checked in on, right here. And again, not a bad site. Everything was working and perfect for us. It's just, we like the woods. Like the woods. So B section, Carolina Landing, 1,000 Trails. Here you have B15 on top of the hill. That's nice. I would take one of these top of the hill ones. So there's lots of trails that take you off in different parts of the park. This is one of them. This is where I see all the deer all the time. They obviously like this trail too. So peaceful here. I mean, if you really want to relax, this is a good campground. Seriously, it's very quiet. There's no party animals. They have activities for the kids, if you have kids. Now this is interesting. I don't know what this is actually for or why it's here, but how odd is that? I guess if you need a place to stay, you could stay here. Good photo op, that's for sure. So this is the D section. This is our favorite section in the Carolina Landing 1,000 Trails. Most of the sites here don't have full hookups. They have electric and water. We happen to get lucky enough to get one that had full hookups. I highly recommend the D section just because of its exclusivity. A little more private here. This is the D section bathhouse. It's decent. I can take you inside as long as there's nobody there. And it sounds like there's somebody there, so we'll cut that part out. Or I'll leave it in just for bloopers. Anyway, you can see the D section sites here are much more secluded, less jammed on top. I mean, there are some people grouped up together, but those are probably the sites that have full hookups. None of these sites here have full hookups, but they do have a honey wagon that comes every Thursday at no charge should you decide. They've been renovating some of the sites, you know, making them nice again with some gravel. And some of these sites are pretty level and some of them are not. So far from our experience, this is pretty normal for 1,000 Trails. Some have barbecue pits, but most do not. This is the F section here. I would say this is probably the most remote section of this 1,000 Trails. Up on a hill here, like we'll take an example of this site. It does not have full hookups, but it has a really nice view. The first day we got here, there was deer running through here. And we've seen deer a couple times since. Some of these sites have new pedestals. See, I even like this site. I mean, this would be a really nice site. Get a little bit of privacy. These sites here are real tight. And small campers or tent camping. Real secluded. It's very nice. They have still yet to improve these sites. As you can see from the gravel. But hey, when these things are plowed out, I mean, look, this view here is really nice. And just through the trees over there, you can't see it, but there is the lake. Maybe you can see it a little bit, but there's the lake right down there. That leads to the boat ramp. I'm sorry, take that back. Not the boat ramp. That leads to the dock. The boat ramp's not in the campground. It's just down the street a little bit. You're gonna go out of the campground and then you get there. So this is the C section. I really like this section, but it seems like it's more reserved for long-term stays, more permanent residents. But this is in the woods. It's very nice, peaceful, and it's on the way to the lake. Again, though, very steep terrain. This, I would say, is expert level required for maneuvering an RV in this section here. Definitely challenging. Very steep terrain, loose gravel roads, very tight turns. Nice place to stay, but you better have some experience behind your belt. You want to pull a trailer or a big rig through here. All right, so right up over this hill, we start to get to their cabins that they rent. I have not been in one of these, but they look pretty awesome. Very secluded over here because of the terrain. You're not going to get a lot of traffic because not a lot of people want to drive down this. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm a little winded just going up that hill. Time to get in shape and maybe get a haircut. How about that? I really need a haircut. Look at these things. Very cool. And then right down this really steep road brings you to the dock area and the beach. I'll put some drone footage in that dock area. It's pretty nice. It's not pretty nice, it's really nice. I like it a lot. This C section, if you can get into it and you like quiet, this is the place for you. All right, so that there is the lodge. They call that the lodge. I would call it a multi-purpose use facility. That's where they house, they have a kitchen, they have a few pool tables, they have these little cubbies that are probably designed for children to play. It's just a general community area with a TV. So here's the official storage lot. Should you need to bring a boat, a jet ski, some other kind of toy, and you don't want to put it on your site, they have plenty of space here. I was told by a local that this does fill up during the summer. All right, so this Carolina Landing Thousand Trails was built back in the 60s, like a lot of the original Thousand Trails resorts, at least from what I'm hearing. This one's unique in such a way that there is a whole section of the park down this road that's been abandoned. I guess they don't use it anymore. One of the employees here told me that they used to use this as primitive camping, tent camping, or car camping, overland camping, etc. And then they turned it into a haunted trail at one point where they had a haunted house in the basement of the clubhouse, and this was the trail that you'd walk through. It's really awesome. I love this trail. It's a little spooky because as you'll see, there's still full campgrounds. The pedestals are there, the water hookups are there, just none of it works anymore. But it does exist, and it just sits here, and the trees continue to grow. Over there through the trees, that's part of the D section. But back here, this is part of the who knows what section. This has been abandoned for quite some time. But you can see there's a pedestal. Still got the site number on it, 249. There's the water hookup. And trees. Trees have, Mother Nature has retaken this section of the campground. Site 250. Now I doubt you can rent these, but I guess if you were really into the rural camping, this would be your spot. I don't know if you can tell by this shot I'm getting here, but these are very tight sites. I mean, you'd be able to park a station wagon, a Class B, no problem. And I imagine back in the 60s when this campground was originally built, that was probably very popular, and these sites were jammed with peace-loving people. Now up ahead here is the section they used to use as the haunted trail, and there's some dilapidated wooden structures they constructed to, I guess, scare the kiddos. And it sneaks right back up to our campsite, right up here. There she is. So if you like nature, lots of woods, and wildlife, this is a cool place to stay. It's very peaceful. I've heard at least 3 birds I've never heard before. Back up this hill again. Oh. Back up the hill. Back up the hill. You can do it.